Civil Engineering and Corruption. Good day to everyone. I'm Ramirez, a civil engineering student. I am studying the last semester and I want to take this opportunity to speak to you about corruption in public works. In our country, this problem is very common and exists for three reasons. High tolerance lies have with corruption offense. The legal control is done on the use of public resources and the inherent nature of the Colombian who does not respect the public. The problem of corruption permeates the entire process of handling public money for its collection to its destination, either on the functioning of the state or public works. While governments commit huge resources, they address the most pressing problems on the world, from the instability of war makers to climate change and poverty. Corruption remains an obstacle to achieving much needed progress. Corruption is a global problem. This has drug trafficking and the major threats to sustainable development. Over $3 million in bribes are paid annually in the global construction industry, equivalent to about 5% of global GDP, with negative effects especially in people living in extreme poverty. The infrastructure sector building is listed as the most corrupt internationally. In the construction industry, corruption can occur in the most varied ways in different phases, from identification of projects, planning, funding, design, changes, implementation, operations, and maintenance. It may also involve the government, the project owner, funders, consultants, contractors, suppliers, brokers, and agents, and can occur in modalities such as bribery, extortion, fraud, collusion, influence peddling, and money laundering.
In Colombia. In Colombia, we are appearing daily in the news media about corruption in public works. Numerous research and studies on the issue of corruption in government activities. The costs of corruption in Colombia are estimated at about 1% of annual GDP, currently equivalent to nearly 2,000 million. In addition, the economic cost, the company should take high cost, discredit the democratic system, the legitimization of government institutions, decline of citizen participation, the disappearance of public resources, the backlog of infrastructure projects in the country, subject to the people who need the work, the poor image of civil engineers, and the less of the respect for the life. Under these conditions, the willingness of citizens to pay taxes is severely discouraged because they have the feeling that their contributions in taxes will be diverted to the attention of interests of corrupt officials. Carousel recruitment in Bogota. The carousel of contracting in case of political corruption developed in Bogota, and that occurs during the administration of former Mayor Samuel Moreno Rojas in 2010. The controversy erupted in June 25 of that year when evidence came to light which showed negotiation multi-million commission by Germán Olano, former congressman. The businessman Miguel Nule, whose company that bore his name largely handled and various public works contracts that were developed in the Colombian capital. The main war was directly affected by two irregular negotiations was the construction of the third phase of Transmilenio public transport system, which come to present almost 2 years late. This is a list of those involved in development in the carousel of business. The list continues to expand in 2013. Have the research and evidence have implicated more involvement in this corruption case. Mayors, senators, contractors, councillors, representatives, public officials. Conclusions. Corruption in the management of state affairs is practically a global pandemic, in which the construction sector of public works dishonorable transfers. Corruption is a severe retarding the development of the infrastructure that a country so badly needs for its development. Corruption most drastically affects the poorest of nations. The fight against corruption has been assumed by various sectors of society, finding cures to the young people, the private sector and the public. Mountain. Young people can ensure in the immediate future improvement of transparency. Corruption undermines the confidence of citizens, business and investors and dramatically affects democracy. The fight against corruption is the daily and ongoing task corrupt no rest. Solutions. The phenomenon of corruption is a scourge that is present in all countries, affecting the stability of its political system and institutions, damaging their economies and their society's morale. It is an increasingly necessary analysis to have to better understanding of the phenomenon to formulate comprehensive strategies aimed at its eradication. However, these strategies must include stronger sanctions against corruption, reform the public procurement code, and effective process control. An effective solution to the corruption is the education of a new generation of engineers, architects, accountants, and administrators. This can be achieved only from the university, where the technical and moral knowledge are taught. For example, in the National University of Colombia, courses have needed professional ethics, how to make well without steel, engineering without corruption. Links. These are two links to internet pages that are related to the topic. The first is a collection of characters, facts and figures of the carousel recruitment in Bogota. The second is a video that shows how corruption has left municipalities of unemployment weather. Thank you for your attention.